Hello. Okay.
Let's start again.
No. Look. We are back. Do you think, in the canon of the most anticipated returns to anything, where does this fall?
Well, they're pretty high up, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm Wilder Shaw.
And I'm Jesse McGrath.
So we're back after we had a podcast once that no doubt you know about it.
Yeah, don't even mention it because they know.
It was the most popular frozen food podcast of all time, I think it's easy to say.
Honestly, I think that's correct, which is pretty funny.
Probably correct.
Yeah.
In order to transition from that podcast into a new podcast, there's only seems like one logical next step for that.
Right.
And that is to do a Battlestar Galactica podcast.
Yeah, but not anyone. I know what you
McGrath,
listeners...
Tell them what this show's about.
Yeah, sure. It's easy. It's very straightforward concept you probably heard before. Where two guys, they watch a show that they know literally nothing about. And when I say nothing about, I mean we both know pretty much the title and space. We both know space. Yeah. And we're watching that. And you're like, oh, what is this, a recap show for some fucking 14-year-old program? Well, yes, but the little trick that we're up to is we're starting with the series finale and working backwards.
Yeah, so we're going to watch this program backwards from finale to pilot.
Yeah, and really just try and figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and so listen up. I know that on this first episode, we have 100,000 fans listening.
Right.
Don't fucking tell us anything about this show.
Yeah,
you don't have an email. Don't tweet at me.
I deleted all my emails just in case.
Yeah, I'm off the grid. I'm living in a shack in Guam.
All I have is my Hulu for my Battlestar, and that's it.
Yeah, B-Star. So welcome to Backwards Star Galactica. We're just basically gonna try to break it down, figure out what's going on with these kooky characters and these this spaceships. Hold on.
Okay.
Bad start.
No.
What have you been up to since the hit? Like, how much fame have you gotten? Like, do people come up to you on the street and tell you to sign like TGI Friday stuff?
Are you talking about from this podcast or the previous one?
The previous podcast. Why would someone ask you to sign a Frozen thing from this podcast?
Right. A ton of fame, a lot of fame. That's why I moved
that's right.
Rural New York City, was to get away from all of the lights and the the paparazzo.
What's that?
You know the paparazzo. The
camera. Pizza topping.
Yep. You put it with your sausage and your olives. So okay, so we're here to talk about Battlestar. We're gonna memento Battlestar.
Yeah.
Galactica.
So let's figure out what's going on. Here's what I think the premise of this show is.
Okay, and just to be even, like, to reiterate, we didn't look anything up. We didn't watch any trailers. We were worried about
we know
previously
nothing.
on. Yeah, I would say that I kind of was disappointed by the intro credits because it felt a little spoilery. I kind of figured out a little bit of I was like, oh, what? You're gonna tell me a survivor count? Come on, you dickheads! What are we doing here?
So I feel like the premise of this show is that, like, people need to evacuate. Well, I guess Earth or some planet.
Well,
in order to, like, I feel like they've been looking for a new planet, but like there's another Earth. There's like a lot of Earths.
Yeah. We learn at the end, like, this isn't first Earth. This is like Earth Part 2.
Oh, I think it goes without saying. Spoilers for Battlestar Galactica follow.
Can you imagine if someone sat through the first
series?
Yeah. The first 3 minutes of this and thought, okay, well, let's see where they're going, but they better give me a spoiler alert.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for the series finale of Battlestar Galactica. So there's some characters. I was trying really hard to pay attention to names.
Oh my God. Thank you.
We got Admiral William. That's his name.
Okay, who's that? Is that Edward James Olmos?
Yeah, that's Geller.
Okay.
You guys remember Geller from Dexter?
Go on.
The best character on Dexter.
By the way, there's no... excuse me.
God, Jesus.
There's no way I'm going to remember that name. I'm not going to remember most of these names, so...
I wrote them down.
Cool.
What was confusing is, though, I think a lot of characters have nicknames.
Oh, my God. And a lot of them look similar. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. So there's Admiral William, like someone calls him Bill, and then like during that polygraph scene, he says like it's Admiral William. Or whatever.
Oh, right, a very confusing scene.
Yeah, yeah, I should understand that because there's lots of flashbacks too, which is like I don't know if they're flashbacks from like before the show even started or like between like.
Right. I was also like, what the fuck is this? This is really screwing up my whole jam.
See, like one would assume that these are all flashbacks to like before the show started, right?
I don't necessarily think so.
So like I was gonna say, like on Lost, the timeline is all over the place, and there's lots of flash forwards and flashbacks, and like some like these could even be flashbacks from like a gap in between the first season and now, you know?
Right.
So I don't know, but so that's Admiral William. I don't know his last name, and he's that fucking cheese dick's dad, that goddamn nerd. Remember that guy? The guy who kind of looks like Mayhem.
Okay. Is he the one? I mean, I only know it's his dad because it's his papa.
So he's the one where the girl like disappears on him at the end when they're standing in the field.
Right. So confusing.
Yeah, I don't know how she did that. That was amazing. She's like Batman.
In my notes, it just says "Ghost" in all caps.
Yeah. Oh, and her name. She had two names.
Okay.
People called her Kara, and then the Geller kept calling her Starbuck. Like, which I was like, he said it one time, and I was like, I didn't hear that correctly. There's no way her name is Starbuck. And then he called her Starbuck again.
Oh, good. And is she okay?
No,
well, okay. Keep going. Let's not get ahead
of
ourselves.
She's not that like 75-foot other blonde hotso that's at the end.
She's not okay. God,
that's a different girl.
So there are three blondes. There's three blondes. There's Kara the Ghost.
Oh, there's Kara the Ghost. There's the Starbucks.
There's like maybe God at the end.
Yeah, like the tall. Yeah, she's like the character from Species.
Okay.
She's like Natasha Henstridge in Species. So there's Kara the Ghost. There's Species, and then there's like
Laura,
the one
right?
that's like oh no, what? Laura I think was that older woman who's only in one scene.
Oh yeah, I have.
You know what was
Laura
hilarious
is a
about
cougar
this?
In my notes.
So first of all, not only is this the series finale, but it's part 3 of the series finale. So it was almost like this was the epilogue to the series finale because not a lot happened. Like the first scene is bananas insane,
right?
And then the rest of it is very calm.
Well, and it's a big. I'm sure
just kind of wrapping it all up,
right? But no, if we were watching it in order, it wouldn't be calm because we'd be like, oh fuck, that's our Earth. The whole thing was them coming to our Earth.
Oh,
that's wild. And these
I thought that was a twist. But then Geller's like, there's so many other Earths. You know, he has that whole thing of like there's like a bunch of Earths.
Who's Geller?
Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Geller from Dexter.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah,
Admiral William.
But I feel like he was a little in on it. And to me, the twist is at the very end, the epilogue to the epilogue, which is when they're like,
it's like a cycle.
And because when they first landed, I don't know if you got this, but when they first landed, I was like, oh, they're in Africa. Are they gonna? Oh,
because you're a fucking racist.
No,
that's why.
No,
you saw some people with primitive sticks.
No, you dipshit. It showed Africa, the continent, when they showed Earth.
See, I thought they were just landing on like a primitive. Like I thought they were like they time traveled. I thought they were like back at like early Earth.
Okay, I thought they were on modern Earth, but landed in Africa, and they were like, "We're gonna give up all of our technology."
Hold on.
And I was like, "You guys
before we get to this time loop thing, let's try to go through these characters.
Okay, yeah, we're breaking the rules.
Okay. There's a guy in the tub.
There's a precog. It's a precog.
Yeah,
that's it. It's a precog.
It's guy in the tub. I kept calling him guy in the tub, but at one point she called him Sam.
Okay, but
so Sam's guy in the tub. But my favorite character is Galen, who is the guy that in the first scene chokes somebody to death, and then no one does anything about it.
Oh my god, he chokes he chokes that woman to death,
and then he sits there and doesn't, and like someone gives him like a hug at the end. They're like good luck or whatever.
Oh,
he? So I think Cylons are a thing, and I think that means cyborg. I think those are like robots.
Yeah. Wait, but hold on. Is Sam also Mr. Anders? Are they the same thing?
Who's Mr. Anders?
Okay, because there's a part when they're like, we're gonna fly the fleets into the sun, which I paused it because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, that was too much.
And it was like Mr. Anders is gonna pilot the fleet into the sun, and I was like, no, Mr. Anders.
He's piloting the ship from the tub?
From the tub, from his little
he's not piloting.
Tub.
He is not piloting a goddamn thing.
Well, who the fuck is Mr. Anders?
The funniest part about the guy in the tub is that like he's like, I don't know, comatose or something. But at the end he talks.
He talks, and
so
it
seems like he was fine.
Yes, and he's not even really struggling that much.
He's just like, see you on the other side.
Right.
And then he
flies into the fucking sun, dude.
No, how could he be flying this into the sun from the tub?
I don't know. How did his fucking...
He also is like, he's like blinking a bunch of times when Starbucks is giving him like her final kiss. Okay, I think that guy in the tub was, remember in the flashback, the guy who fucking cock blocks her?
Yeah, no, that's...
couch?
Yeah,
I think that's guy in the tub.
Yeah, that's Tub Lord for sure.
Tub Lord.
That's Tub Girl. And,
do you think... Did you think that Tub Lord... So, God, this is the stupidest idea for a podcast. Do you think that? So she was like, she like never got with, I don't know, Mayhem. I'm gonna keep calling him Mayhem. So because
he's
Geller's son, because like that's what they say. Like he calls him dad or father or something.
Papa at the end. Yeah.
Did you notice they were walking arm in arm? By the way,
spicy. Yeah,
that was cracking me up. So I feel like she always wanted to be with. I couldn't tell.
No, yeah,
what was that scene? Like, is she dating Tub Lord, and then they're like about to bang on the table?
Yeah,
and then he's like, there's a noise or something.
No, and it felt, and he was like all sweaty, and so he was like pre-tub,
he's like sick,
but post.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like
Tub Lord,
bipedal human functioning person. I don't get like I love that this first episode we're watching of this. In the first 5 minutes, like 7 people surround what looks like a corpse in a tub and dip their fingers in his tub water. And then they could just like see into each other's thoughts, and then someone's choked out. And then how about the guy that puts a gun in his mouth and fucking shoots himself in the head?
Oh yeah, that was a lot. Okay, hold on. Did you notice that there's like a curse word? They keep saying frack. I think that's like fuck.
Boo.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
I wasn't a huge fan of that.
No, I didn't hear that. I spent so much of this.
And there was Eye Patch
episode.
Eye Patch
screaming,
and
oh my
Keira
God.
Sedgwick.
And can you get a flesh-colored eye patch out of my fucking life, please? It's disgusting.
It was awful. It was extremely awful.
Okay.
Okay, so we got Tub Daddy. We got. And then the biggest mystery of the whole show to me by far was the English guy and Species, because there's like 4 of them. Or are they schizophrenic?
I'm so lost. I get that this is the bit, but Jesus Christ!
At the end though, like even before it shows them on Earth, they're like talking to like different versions of each other in the field.
Right. I don't get it.
Okay, here's my theory. It's that they're robots.
Please.
There's like robots. I think they're all robots, and they. By the way, English guy, my least favorite character by far. I couldn't stand him.
The guy at the end.
Yeah,
yes.
But he was also like, we can breed with them, and then Geller was like, get your mind out of the gutter or some stupid line.
Yeah, you go one-track mind.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like him and Species are like those other 2 they were talking, because there was like he was in like a shitty mob suit and she was in like a red dress. Right. So I feel like those are other versions of like their robot.
Yeah.
That's my best theory. Or they're crazy. But there's like, it also shows like the epilogue with like both versions of them. I don't get it.
So the epilogue, the last like 4 minutes, I watched it and then I rewound. I went back. I didn't rewind, I guess. That's not a thing people do anymore. I went back and watched it again. And then later in bed, I was like, let me pull this up on YouTube. I must have missed something. And watched it again on my phone, and I can't make heads or tails of it.
Okay.
The last line of this whole series is, he's like, something about God. He mentions God, and then she's like, he doesn't like that name. Or some bullshit like that. And then he's like, oh, right. And then it says sorry, and then adjusts his sunglasses, and then that's the end. What?
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking of. So I feel like that ends with it like hinting that like our society is getting too into robots, and the robots that we have are going to become like the robots in the show. Which, by the way, there were barely any of. They mentioned their robots at one point, and they're like, should we just send them off, like give them a ship? And they're like, what if they come attack us later? And they're like, oh, they probably won't, or whatever.
Yeah, that was, and then they showed some real shitty looking robots
the effects,
all just hanging out.
The effects are just unacceptable. The first scene in this is Tub Lord sitting in his tub, and everyone like are they in the middle of a firefight?
Yeah, it's tough. Something's going on with the ship because they're seem to be in pretty dire straits.
There's like a lot of characters. One girl gets choked to death. Like, oh, they like all touch Tub Lord, and then the ship starts freaking out.
Tips.
Did he cause that?
I don't. So okay, so here's actually something that one of my theories is I think that flashbacks and memories have some sort of actual power, because like they like dip their fingers in this tub, they dip the tips into the tub daddy's home, and
his home,
and then it seems like they all start to have like freak out, like they're all inside of each other's memories, and then homeboy that does like a choke slam,
they're in each other's memories.
Yeah, because he like sees some funny business going on with the fucking chick that he chokes out, and then
Galen.
Right, and then the ship is like about to crash or they're gonna die. I very unclear on the situation.
I did not like how eye patch at the end of that whole sequence is like, oh, she broke her back, like referring to the ship. She'll never jump again. I guess jumping is like what, light speed?
Yes, but so I wrote that down as well. But the jump happens right as the chick that got cock blocked. Right as she like has a memory, she like turns a key, and then there's a memory, and then they jump, and she comes to and is like all like exhausted from that crazy memory and or jump. I think that memories got some kind of, they're like batteries. I think the memories are batteries. Put it in the books. That's a fucking guarantee.
Hold on. First of all, what in the world are you talking about? What do you mean they're like batteries for what? For the ship?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the ship is Galactica.
Right, I figured that out.
I saw that
later
on the side of I saw it on the side.
One of my notes is: are the ships the Battlestars or the Galacticas?
I guess the ship is a Battlestar, perhaps.
Oh, right, because it's like right.
Like Firefly, the type of ship they fly is called a Firefly, so I feel like it's similar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So. It's a Battlestar, and it's the Battlestar Galactica.
It would be if like if Forrest Gump was instead called like shrimp. No, it would be called, no, dum. It would be called Shrimp Boat Jenny. It's the same thing as calling your show Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
it's like
Bench.
No,
Bench is a better title.
You can take Bench to Go. That's a bad one. So go ahead and throw that one away.
I think a Bench is a better title for Forrest Gump. Now look here. So you're telling me that why do they all start having memories at the same time?
I don't know, but isn't that what happened? Isn't that what do you think happened when they dipped all their fingers in the tub?
I could not fucking tell you. See, I thought that was a coincidence. I thought that was a bit of a coincidence.
Oh no, I think the memories are like,
I thought they were under attack
or something.
So you're telling me they're not under attack, and then they all dip their fingers in the tub and everything freaks out. Why did they do it? They didn't know that would happen?
I think to get the juice going. I think that was like the fucking...
Get the juice going?
Yeah, man. Why else are they doing it? What are they just like, oh, well, we're all going to die. I know what we should do. Get our fingertips a little moist in this fucking lukewarm tub water.
Good thing that before the ship broke her back, it can't jump anymore. Good thing it landed on Earth.
Right. And it seemed... So based on the title credits, which I'm still pissed about, like we said, it seems like these people were stranded. It was like blah blah blah, only X amount of survivors, and they've just...
what? I didn't even really watch the credits.
Oh well, spoiler alert. It says something about...
I wasn't paying attention. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I feel like the premise of the show is like all these people must be looking for a new planet to populate, right?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But there's also robots and tubs and hardcore memories.
So robots, I feel like... Okay, who do we think is a robot? Galen.
No, Galen is not a robot. That was the whole point of that.
That's why he killed that. I think the girl he killed must have been a robot. Otherwise, cared more.
Wait, Galen is the murderer. Yeah, okay, no.
Oh, sorry, I'm saying Galen and I'm saying Geller.
Yeah, so you're fucking me up. No, yeah, Galen might be a robot. Galen's
that fucking big-eyed murderer who like Blondie just gives him a hug at the end.
Does he have a line in that whole thing, or is he just a straight? He's a merc.
He says some stuff right before he leaves, like before he walks off into the hills.
Okay.
I feel like that guy's a fucking robot. Which I feel like Cylon's robot, right? Or like a cyborg. Because there's also those other robots which had a name that I forgot.
Centurions.
Oh yes, good one.
And they look like shit.
Yeah, they're all just like it's just kind of a cutaway to them, just like wandering around
having
on
fun.
Ship.
But she said
like having a party.
She said breaking a cycle of violence, which to me is like. So it's like the reverse of Terminator. Like we built a race of robots that became...
See, I feel like this whole show is a time loop because it seems like their decision to fly the stuff into the sun is like to prevent... I feel like they've tried to populate a planet before, and when they brought the natives like all their weapons and ships and stuff, it didn't work out.
Right, because there's a part when he's like we gotta plop out our city, and Edward James Olmos is like, no city, not this time. And it's like, how many times you guys fucked this shit up?
But then they immediately like build like a whole like encampment. See, and then I feel like in the end, the whole thing is like, oh, they tried not to do it, but look, we're gonna do it ourselves. Like, was that in the future or the past? Was that like when they're showing all the robot?
What robot? What are you talking about? The
because like at the very end of the show is like showing that all the robots are building are gonna like. I feel like it's like, oh, these are gonna become all the robots.
No, so that was to me. Okay, look, let me break this down for you. Yeah, because you're a fucking moron.
Sure.
So I would bet as you're working your way through this show, it's a fucking space goddamn show, right? And they're calling each other humans. Mm-hmm. Like he says the word humans, and I was like, how the fuck do you know what humans are, dude? Because they're like looking at other humans, and he's like, they look like humans.
Oh, right.
And so here's what I think. You watch 4 seasons of the show, and you're like, cool, Earth exploded. Like, I think that it's a big twist, and we're just sort of sleeping on it because of, the wackiness of our
He mentioned something
program.
about there being, like, lots of Earths. Remember he said that to, like, his girlfriend who dies?
Right.
With the glasses?
Right. So here's what I'm saying is, like, I bet when you're watching this show, you're like, okay, these are humans from Earth, and this is set in the future because Earth has exploded and there's fucking spaceships. And then you realize that it's actually set in the past. Like, to me, the grand twist of this whole thing, after you, like, the build up to, season 4, episode 21 is like, what? 150,000 years in the past? Because between the scene where they're, like, just landing on Earth and the very, very last scene, it says 150,000 years later. And then they're looking at,
it does?
Man. God, fucking pay attention. You didn't watch that scene 3 times?
God, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that part at all.
So they're like, okay, we're gonna set up camp, and then Edward James Olmos' wife girlfriend dies, and then it says glasses. 150,000 years later, and then the fucking like Blondie and horrible British guy are still walking around, and it cuts from a.
But that's a different version of them. That's not the same version.
Right. But either way.
Well, I guess both.
Either way, right? It says 150,000 years later, and then to me, that's supposed to be modern day. They're in like modern day New York. Like, to me, those robots were from 2004 when this show was airing. And
see, but I also felt like they were hinting at the fact that those robots are about to become like evil.
No, they were. They definitely were. But I think that the twist of the show after 4 seasons is probably
so it's like the whole thing's going to start over again.
Right, and it was in the past. Like, if I'm watching a show about space, my fucking thought is like, oh, we're dealing with future time.
Yeah, it's in the future.
Like,
you know what I did actually think was kind of cool? I like that the guns weren't laser guns.
They had regular bullet guns. And
they also mentioned something about raptors. Did you catch that part?
Bro, I was screaming raptors at the top of my lungs. But I assume they're talking about them little ships.
What is a raptor?
Well, a raptor is a dinosaur, but it's also thick-skulled mook.
I was hoping that there would be raptors in the show.
Well, listen. Raptor is another term for a bird of prey, is a raptor. And so I reckon they're talking about them little ships, those little scooties that they were scooting around Earth. Yeah. And they were lost. There was lost raptors. The ship that like they land on Earth in, I think is like probably a raptor.
Yeah, that's a raptor. And then like the big Battlestar. So like they fly. Who flies all them ships?
Mr. Anders, and now he's flying them into the goddamn sun.
No, God, Mr. Anders? Mr. Anders. How could he be flying the ship from his tub? He's taking a bath. He can't fly a ship while he's taking a bath. Everybody knows that.
Do you know that when she said goodbye, she stuck her fucking little fingers in there? I gotta know what the fingers in the tub is about.
Oh, yeah, well she put her dog tag in there.
Oh, that's right. She
like ripped her her little chain or whatever off, and she just put it in the tub with him.
Right.
He seemed fine. He was like blinking, and he's like, "I'll see you on the other side."
Right.
I kind of expected her to be like, I thought that was gonna be like a twist, like, "Oh, he's fine," but she didn't seem concerned with that. I can't tell whether she's in love with him or, I mean, she said she loved him and then kissed him, but then there was also fucking Mayhem, who I didn't understand his thing. They were about to like fuck on the table in the past,
and then they're like
when she had short hair.
Someone's a mayor. You said Mayor Adar? Mayor Adar? I have something in my notes about mayor.
that was Laura. Yeah, she's like, that's her thing. She's like, tell the mayor's office that I'm I don't know what she said. She said something about the mayor's office. What was she talking about?
The only quote I have from her is, I'm joining the mayoral campaign all the way to the end. Which, like, what? You just said you were going to be
Sure.
Very confusing.
This is hard to do. We didn't even we only watched the last third of the finale basically.
So when at the very end when they're back in modern day,
yeah,
it opens on a scene on those two freaks looking over someone's shoulder about like, oh, they found what they think is like Eve, like the oldest living being, and I think it was supposed to be that
his girlfriend
girl.
Oh
no, I think it was supposed to be the girl, the child.
Oh yeah, there's also those characters. There's the Asian woman and the other guy who had a limp, who I believe is an actor that was on Dollhouse, who is my least favorite actor in the world, but I don't want to Google it because I don't want to learn anything about it. So I'm not looking forward to more of him as the show goes by. It's going to be interesting to see how character deaths happen because it's going to be backwards for us. So it's going to be like people are just going to appear and then get killed, and then get killed, like, and then every episode before that they'll be in it.
Right.
This is
going to be
such a bad idea. Cool. One down, 74 more to go.
Big problem for me. Big problem. Is that we can't really look at IMDb.
Yeah, we can't look
for
anything
spoilers'
up.
sake.
I don't want to know anything.
So I can't even be like, oh, that person, cool, now I have them internalized. Like, that's not an option.
We just gotta just not look it up. Also, the other thing is the more we like Google it and stuff, the more like ads we'll get about it. So like it'll come to us.
Okay, but hold on, let me stop you there. What ads for Battlestar Galactica
I don't know.
Do you think you're gonna get there, bud?
I don't know. Like, watch it on Hulu. Who knows?
Yeah, Hulu is definitely pumping Battlestar into people's feeds.
There's also, did you notice that there's more than just four? Like, there's like a. I was looking it up on Wikipedia to see like how many seasons there were, and there was like season 1, 2, 3, and then there's something called like the plan or something, and then it said season 4. There's like something in between season 3 and 4.
Fuck. Do we have to watch that?
I don't know.
Is it 4 seasons in a movie?
I don't fucking know.
Oh man. Well, I'll ask so I have an inside man. Inside woman.
Yeah. Ask the inside woman what the scoop on that shit is, if we need to see it.
Mad respect to her because she has watched and likes Battlestar Galactica, and now is just gonna with me watch it in reverse order, and I'm gonna be pretty much making fun of it the whole time. And then
you're watching it with her, and she has to sit there quietly and not explain anything to you.
Yeah, no. The worst. Do you want to know what's worse? It's not that she has to sit there quietly. It's that I'll see something and be like, "Oh fuck, is that the tub
and
guy?"
And she has to just be
then she'll be like,
"I can't."
She'll be like, and I'll be like, "No, don't tell me, don't tell me."
So you're terrible and awful. And why is she watching this with you?
Well, she doesn't. I mean, she doesn't have to. I was like, "Do you want to watch it?" She's like, "Well, I haven't watched it in a while," and I was like, "Well, let me tell you."
I would hate to just sit there and listen to some fucking dipshit comment on it.
Yeah, but that's
what a fucking nightmare. This is so stupid. Look,
there's no chance we make it through all 75 episodes. I don't want to ruin our podcast before
we're gonna make it. Who do you think's gonna listen to this? Certainly not people that have never listened to Battlestar Galactica. Watched it. Oh boy. It sucks that we can't binge any because we can't have unless we both agree. No, we can't because we have to watch it and then
it would fuck our own business up.
We can't know anything. Oh boy.
Yeah.
See, this is a good show because I like probably would never have watched it, so I'm not worried about like ruining the experience for myself.
Right. No, I can say with 100% certainty that these are the only. This very specific context is the only context in which I am watching any Battlestar fucking Galactica.
Great. So let's call it. Let's wrap it up there. We'll catch you next time for episode. Oh, I was gonna say episode 2. It'd be episode 2 for us, but season 4, episode 21.
No. This was 21.
Okay.
It'll be season 4, episode 20.
So season 4, episode 20 coming at you.
Great.
And like the other thing is what's gonna be so stupid is that we're not gonna remember all the stuff that happened in this episode. So like we'll probably get lots of information that helps clarify things we were confused about, but we'll have forgotten entirely about it.
No way.
We're going to see so many more characters in the next... Like, every episode, I feel like there's going to be more characters.
Yeah, we just watched the very last 40 minutes of the show. There's no way that only, 2 people die in the last... we're going to see so many deaths.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
I have one more thing I want to hang out there.
Yeah.
I think the one great thing about this podcast, literally the only good thing about this podcast, is if we do finish it, when we finish it, confident, when we
75 years.
Yes. How funny will it be to listen to this podcast in the same way that we are watching Battlestar Galactica? So starting with our last episode, which would technically be the pilot.
Yeah. It'll be great to go back and just see how fucking wrong we were about everything.
Well, and the whole our last episode will be like, oh, we'll be watching the pilot and being like, oh, now I get it. Right, and then you'll get to the series finale, and we're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, we're done. I'm Jesse McGrath.
I'm Wilder Shaw.
We'll catch you dudes later.
Peace.